have a report here for the East Walker River, and I'm with Whitney Inmon. She is a professional guide with the Angler's Edge, and she's an expert up on those waters on the East Walker River. How you doing, Whitney?
I'm great, Rick. How are you today?
I'm doing great, really well. Appreciate it, and appreciate you doing this report. So maybe you could kind of just start off with just a general idea of what's going on up there in general with the East Walker.
Sure. So current conditions are that it was very comfortable today. We had a high of 80 degrees. It was really nice, a light breeze. Water temperature is right around 57 degrees, which very, very fishable, and flows are 142 CFS.
When you talk about the flows and the temperature, let's just kind of back up here. So yes. 142 is the CFS. What is the range that you would consider sort of the best fishable range on CFS?
You know, honestly, I like the East Walker between 80 CFS and 150. 150 starts pushing a little fast for me, but it's a pretty gentle gradient through most of that stretch of at least the Rosace, the special catch and release section. As it tumbles down towards the elbow, you get a little steeper gradient, a little faster, rougher water, but still all pretty fishable. But generally, like I said, 80 to 150 CFS is where I really enjoy fishing it. That seems to be most productive, most weightable, safest weighting. Little, you know, when it hits around 200, then it gets a little too swift and a little too hairy to really kind of feel comfortable navigating without at least a trekking pole or some kind of stability pole to navigate the river with.
Gotcha. And then when you say water temperature, I think you said 57 degrees. Again, where's the range that you're looking for on the water temps?
I'll fish all through the winter, even when it's cold and the flows are incredibly low. Usually our winter flows are around 25 CFS, super low. Looking for more of those more oxygenated pools and deeper pools where the fish are going to hold. But backing up to temperature, 57 is fabulous. Once you start pushing to that 67, 68, 69 degree level, you're losing a lot of oxygen in the water. If you're going to fish it in those conditions, look for the more oxygenated, deeper runs. Go out early in the morning when the temperatures are still cool. Carry a thermometer with you, even if it's just a simple meat thermometer from your kitchen. Carry something with you to monitor those temperatures later into the season, so you're not stressing those fish to the point where you're killing them. It is catch and release. Use a heavier tippet if you need to help get those fish into hand more quickly and effectively. We do at CPR, catch, photo, release, right? Make sure that your photographer's ready. Keep that fish in the water. Get it revived. When your photographer's ready, take that fish, hold it up, take your picture, get it back in the water. Make sure your hands are wet. Make it fast. But currently at 57 degrees, very comfortable, really good oxygen in the water. Really excellent conditions to fish right now.
Sounds good. So it sounds like we're in a good spot right now. Obviously something to watch as the summer again gets and the temperatures get higher and that water temperature gets higher. Something to watch for on some of those. I would imagine that at some point there'll be some voluntary and maybe even mandatory regulation changes on the river itself. I would imagine that that's a possibility.
Most of the time it's voluntary. You know, we start hitting July and our temperatures start coming up, and I've had trips where our water temperature was reaching 70 degrees by 10 in the morning. So typically I'm running, if I'm doing those trips, if I've got someone that can't or won't back out of a trip, I'm meeting them at the river at 5:36 in the morning. We do an early start and we push and we're off the water by 10. And that, again, that's a situation if somebody can't or won't reconsider moving a trip to a later date when the temperatures cool down a bit, and that's okay, that happens. But my goal is to really not stress the fish, and I mean, they're my buddies, I count on them. But
right now we're still okay. We're in it's still 57 or under 60 at the moment, so that's great. Okay, cool. Now, how about hatches? What are you seeing out there in terms of hatches? Anything coming off, or what is your sense there of what's been going on or what you might anticipate?
Hatches that we've seen down there currently, We've got a lot of bait fish already starting to build up in some of the deeper pools. So streamers are incredibly effective right now, especially with the temperatures, the water temps that we have. The fish are a little more active, being in the water's just a little bit warmer, but not scalding. The other thing we're seeing too is a lot of bug life coming off in the form of caddis. We're seeing a few baetis. Haven't necessarily seen anything in the stonefly realm yet, but we are always midges. Midges are always a great tool to have down there. But certainly today there was some caddis and there was plenty of bait fish. And today's trip, we had eats on lots of streamers, handful of caddis. Hare's ears are a great tool to keep in your box. They're kind of an all-around buggy looking searching tool, just like rainbow warriors and pheasant tails. I think we also had an eat on, we had a couple hits on a fox's pupa as a caddis imitation, and nitro caddis is always a great one to have down there as well. But that's what we're seeing, and that's at least what was coming off today. With the weather that we had over the weekend, it's cooled the air temperatures down a bit, and with everything staying cool, it's kind of stalling some of these hatches out a little bit. But I anticipate through the week, as it warms up a little bit more, both air and water temperatures, and not drastically, but just as they warm up a little bit more, we should start seeing a little more bug life starting to come back and proliferate.
Gotcha. Now, your kind of go-to then, if they're depending on that, and obviously if you see a nice hatch, you're going to try to match that. But your kind of go-to then is indicator rig or a dry dropper, or what would be your sort of go-to then in terms of targeting?
Currently, I start with an indicator as I'm watching the water this morning. I'm not really seeing any rise forms. I'm not seeing lips or splashy rises. So tells me that if I'm seeing at least bugs but nothing splashing, I want to fish subsurface. So I'm going to start out with nymphs in the morning. It's cool. Fish are moving a little slow. They're kind of taking their time getting their cup of coffee, or at least I imagine, right? So anyways, but I figure when it's cooler, they're taking their time kind of warming up. They're going to be in those shallower sunny spots, and therefore you can use different setups of different indicator rigs, but that's where I typically like to start in the morning if I'm not seeing good splashy rises, rise forms, fish actively feeding subsurface or even above surface.
Got it. Okay, perfect. Good. Great. Good advice. Good tips there on that river. Appreciate it. And I know that you offer, so you do a walk and wade there on the East Walker, but I think you also offer some classes or more instructional type of scenario. Maybe you describe that real quick.
I do. I also offer fly fishing lessons, and that's about 3-4 hour lesson. I do some casting instruction. If you're brand new to fly fishing and you're still trying to remember how to put your rod together and reeve it, string it, get it all set up, I can take you out and help you just get more efficient at putting your equipment together, getting more familiar with it, help to increase your casting abilities and get you more familiar with the mechanics of different casts. And then from there, we'll go down and have some practical application and spend a little bit of river time when our rivers our other streams aren't really completely blown out. I'll take people down to the East Carson, and we do a little, again, practical application to put all those new tools to work and teach you all the fundamentals as far as I can get you in a matter of morning, and then turn you loose and let you go try to tear the river apart.
All right. Well, that's a great resource. That's really cool. Cool stuff, Whitney. Can you let us know how to get in contact with you if we want to set up a trip with you? Absolutely.
So you can reach me via email. It's Nevada Fly Girl, or nvflygirl@gmail.com. And you can reach me through my cell phone is 775-790-2624. If you can't reach me, you can also call the Fly Shop, and I believe that is 775-781-7112.
Wonderful. Thanks a lot, Whitney. Really appreciate the report there on the East Walker River. All that contact information, if you didn't pick up on that, I will go ahead and put that in the post as well so that you have that and can get in touch with Whitney. You can always get in touch with us as well, and we can put you in contact with her to set up a guiding trip up there on the East Walker. Obviously knows her stuff, can put you on fish, and maybe if you're somebody that maybe a little refresher or just even new to the sport, can even do some lessons, or those grizzled veterans, and just get you onto some fish up there on the East Walker. A really great place. So appreciate that, and appreciate Whitney Inmon from the Angler's Edge and the report on the East Walker River. And we'll see you right here next time on The Back.